The Torch, heading to Saturn, 5 months, 1 week, 3 days after pulse. A thorough investigation of the tank had been conducted. The first thing they did was manufacture a new fuel tank out of steel, and pipe the fuel out of the probe's compromised tank. Once the tank was safe, they began their return burn. Although they had enough supplies for delays, it was decided that it would be a good idea to begin the journey home and work on the probe on the way back. Spin gravity was still offline to ease the work on the probe. The team had suited up in full EVA suits. Touching the residual fuel would react with water in the human body, and the extended stay meant that if something went wrong, it was a good idea to be hermetically isolated. Working together, every bolt had been undone, and now they just needed to pull it out. Despite being larger than all three of them put together, the engine easily moved out of the body. Placing it to the side, they then entered the much larger cavity left behind, and began working on the fuel tank with Carr's supervision. Using a set of shears, they slowly cut through the tank, to avoid spraying residual fuel everywhere. Once they had cut an opening in the tank, they could enter it to inspect it. Elliot clipped his foot on the corner they had made and broke off a chunk of tank. Man, it's really surreal to be breaking apart thick metal like this. I feel like a superhuman. Yeah, it's like one of those old stories. Shining a light around, they noticed a sparkling area on the floor. This is Igor. We've found something strange. What is this, Carr? Why is there shattered glass in the tank? What the heck? There shouldn't be any. This is the captain. Our scientists have gotten the chemical makeup of the fuel. There's a small amount of gallium, mercury, and tungsten shavings mixed in with it. The walls of the tank have gallium and mercury mixed in with the aluminum. We suspect sabotage. Igor, I think we should keep the probe on the exterior of our ship for now. Do you agree? Captain, we've found glass shards on the interior of the fuel tank. I'd like to finish up here, then we can put the probe outside. Carr, I'd like you to give us all the information pertaining to the construction of the probe, the suppliers used, contractors, and timetables. I think it's time to show you why we have the internet. We can. Why would someone do this? We spent years making that, and I dedicated my life to this. He broke down, crying. Earth, humanity's homeworld, an uncomfortably short time later. Of course, the news got leaked to the public within an hour. Even before this, people on Earth had already replicated warp-beaming information in their garages, and someone actually made a microwave capable of firing a multi-megawatt warp laser and posted it on YouTube. Every communication between the ship and the team was publicized, and seeing the face of our new friends crying stirred something deep within humanity. Once the detailed information of every aspect of the probe was released, the floodgates opened. 20 years of data and 100,000 workers were analyzed by all of us in less than an hour. Chan began doing a ridiculously detailed investigation as 1 billion people with extra time on their hands collaborated in an effort which surpassed the first moon landing. Within 3 days, the exact addresses of the perpetrators was somehow located and sent to the Quartian law enforcement. Apparently, a French cultist group had opposed attempting to find other life in the universe. They had managed to plant a small sphere of glass, which was filled with a gallium-mercury amalgam, and had it timed to blow itself up once the probe entered the Sol system. It successfully dispersed the mixture into the probe's fuel, and had the probe done a return burn, the force from the engine would have ruptured the fuel tank, spraying the entire interior with liquid metal, and frying the probe. The Torch just happened to discover this and save the probe. With that debacle over, we went back to watching cat videos and a guy blowing up pre-World War III main battle tanks with his microwave laser.